Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And I want to talk about the rise of this particular class of immigrant people who seem to be taking the American political system by storm, and that is these Indian immigrants. I don't know what it is about American politics that fascinates them so much, but they want to take over the American government. And so I'm thinking, what is going on? I mean, of all of the immigrants, they are overrepresented when it comes to immigrants getting elected or trying to get elected to political office, specifically the office of the president. And I would add that of the 6 on the chart, all of them are Republicans except Kamala. So it started with this man right here, this Dinesh D'Souza. He really has a problem with Black Americans. Nobody can understand it, but I have said in other videos, and I truly believe this man belongs to one of those lower castes in India, possibly the Dalits. They are the lowest caste in India, and they are also called the untouchables. And the way their caste system is set up, whatever caste you're in, you were born in that caste and you die in that caste. And the way they get out of it, the British gave them a way out that if they converted to Catholicism, they could get out of those castes. Because remember, England colonized India. So this man brings that fear of being in the lower class on the bottom shelf to America with him. So he gets involved in all of these conservative think tanks where they are trying to take the country back to the late 1800s, if not the 1700s. But he's always trying to do something to throw off on Black people, coming up with this phony research, trying to put Black people in some negative light. The only thing it can be is he's afraid he's going to get classified or identified with Black people. So that is how he distances himself. But he stays involved in these conservative political think tanks. But he is one of the most conservative of these Indians. And then there's Bobby Jindal. Bobby Jindal was the governor. He managed by hook and by crook to become the governor of Louisiana. It is also believed that he is also a member of a middle or bottom caste. So whenever you can't find out the name of their caste, and I have looked, whenever you can't find the name of the caste that they belong to or that their family members were born into, you can almost bet that they're in a lower caste, possibly a Dalit, an untouchable. But Bobby Jindal got involved in politics and they made him governor of Louisiana. He didn't do anything worthwhile down there, but what he did do was show that he really doesn't understand the American way. As the governor of Louisiana, when LSU plays Florida State or University of Florida, and the governor goes to Florida, you're actually supposed to go to the game. So he went to Florida when LSU was playing Florida and didn't even go to the game. Probably didn't even understand the game. He wanted to be president too, but during one of those debates, he came out going to give the response to when President Obama was the president. He was going to give the response. Then he came out in front of a green screen behind him, and he delivered one of the most boring, uninspiring speeches that ever was given. So pretty much we haven't heard of Bobby Jindal since, but he was also trying to be the president. Then came Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley planted her feet in South Carolina, where she was born. Nikki Haley worked her way through the South Carolina state legislature, to become the governor of South Carolina. So that's the second Indian that has been the governor of a state of the United States. These people are very ambitious. She came at a pivotal time because Nikki Haley came during the time that whoever that nut was went into South Carolina, that church in Charleston, and shot all of those black people. So she was in a position to grandstand a little bit, so she took down the Confederate flag in South Carolina. So that was considered a decent thing. But then when I have mentioned this on the channel, people have told me she didn't really do that. And then they gave me another explanation. She was the governor, but she took credit for it. I'll put it like that. But Nikki Haley, to me, is just a bored and desperate housewife. She doesn't know what to do with herself because her family doesn't have the legacy that the presidents of the United States have, like the Bush family and the Kennedy family. And Bill Clinton, even though he didn't come from one of those powerful families, he was connected well enough that when he left the presidency, he could go on out there and do charity work. But these are Americans and their families have been here for generations. So when they leave office, they have other things that they can do. But Nikki Haley, I don't think, has anything to do but run for office. He ran for president too, and her candidacy bit the dust. But there again, there's another Indian climbing their way up the political ladder in the United States. And then there's Kamala, the most successful of all of them. But Kamala took a different route. She didn't come here just to be an Indian, and through no effort of her own, but she was able to latch on to another group in the United States who has legacy and agency and who has been here for hundreds of years. She grifted on to the Black American ethnicity, even though it's not her lineage. Her father, it is reported, is Jamaican, so her lineage is with Jamaica and India. But neither one of them could help her. She knew that the Jamaican lineage wasn't going to help her in the United States. So she has really overlooked that as far as I can see. Although I think I saw some kind of a documentary from Jamaica a few days ago, and they had her picture up on the wall as a proud Jamaican. But she hasn't really tried to capitalize on that because Jamaica can't help her here. So she decided, I'm latching on to these black people because they are loud and noisy, but they know how to get things done. So she joined in with the Democratic Party, where the black people are, and actually have some influence. Maybe not as much as we want, but there's influence. There's influence enough to get her to the vice presidency. So Kamala is actually the most successful of the Indians. Unlike the other Indians, she didn't latch on to the white people. She latched on to the black people. And that's what got her where she is. The rest of them have been trying to get where she is, but she made it. So we'll leave Kamala alone. And then we come to Vivek Ramaswamy, who made an utter fool out of himself trying to run for president. He thought he could buy his way into the presidency. He thought he could buy the support and advocacy that would propel him into a position to be taken seriously as a presidential candidate. And he realized that wasn't possible for him. Now, Donald Trump came up out of nowhere and got to be president, but he's not Donald Trump. Ramaswamy is not Donald Trump. And he learned something very important along the way, that this country is racist and that he is not white. And last but not least is Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat, but somewhere along the way she lost favor with them. So she hopped over to the Republican Party and became very conservative, just like the rest of the Indians. Now, I believe she was born in Samoa, but she's a Hindu. I'm not sure that she's Indian, but I believe that she is just one who migrated to Samoa, but I could be wrong. But she does have the Indian phenotype, the religion, and the ambition that they move with in the United States of America. So until known otherwise, I'm going to say she's an Indian. But Tulsi Gabbard, she moved too soon. She was in the military. She served honorably. She came out, and I think she ran for I think she was in the House of Representatives. But anyway, she had the bright idea that she wanted to be the president. So she crashed and burned too. That's all I got to say about her. So I believe it's these Indians' parents who have this ambition for them, because Kamala even said that her mother wanted her to be the president of the United States. So they see the United States as the superpower, and they want to be the power of the superpower. And one thing about them, they do not enlist the support of their people when they're running for office. They only want the support of white people. And to me, that right there tells you you don't deserve to be the president of the United States. You don't even recognize your own people. And just in case you thought we were done with the Indians, we're not. Donald Trump has chosen J.D. Vance to be the vice presidential nominee for the Republican Party for the United States of America. And he is married to an Indian. So we can't shake him, y'all. So all right, black people, get on the ball. We don't want an Indian takeover when they just got to a point where they could come here thanks to our advocacy. Okay, y'all. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Have a good evening.